All right, everybody, welcome back in. We continue to broadcast till the top of the hour right here from the Barrio Queen in beautiful Scottsdale. Hanging out because it is Taco Tuesday and also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Bobby Mack is here, Arizona Cardinals beat writer, Arizona Republic, and AZ Central Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at AZ Bobby Mack. Bobby, Jimmy B, and Manuch, let's just kind of get your overall thought process on how you thought the mini camps went, the OTAs. Is there anything that jumped out at you or not?
Well, I mean, there was a few things, Jimmy. I would say that Gannon has made multiple players play multiple positions, which I think is different and maybe risky. I get versatility, especially on the offensive line, but I really don't know what his plan is by doing that. I think Paris Johnson should have been stuck in at left guard and plugged in there for a year or two until he's ready to replace DJ Humphries at some point, or go to the right and replace Kelvin Beachum. They're playing him at right tackle. I don't get it. Position flexibility is wonderful. I get Zaven Collins, I guess, playing an outside linebacker. He's never done it. I think it's a risk. Playing Isaiah Simmons at DB strictly alone is a risk. And yet, those are just three guys out of maybe 20 guys who are moving all around. And I don't get it because he won't tell us what he's doing. And that's fine as gamesmanship, but nobody's worried about playing the Cardinals in 2023. So just tell us what the hell you're doing.
It seems, Bob, to that point, as I'm seeing, the shuffling the deck, so to speak, by Jonathan Gannon, or is it a shell game at this point when you see until they go get the kind of players they want as a staff with those 11 picks, it's almost like plug and play and see what you have. And then to your point, you can't expect a whole lot in reference to wins when you have that kind of movement. But sometimes I say a jack of all trade guys and masters of none.
Well, I mean, everything the coach tells us is, I'm going to put the players in the best position to succeed, but it's going to change week to week depending on who we have in there and who we're playing. Right. And what does that mean? You're not going to play Buda Baker one week and maybe play him at cornerback? I mean, what are you doing? Football is football. Don't reinvent the wheel here. But look, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt until training camp gets underway, and then we see if this is kind of weird way to do a team is going to still happen. I can't believe it's a smokescreen, but I don't know who they're trying to fool because the Cardinals aren't going to fool anybody. I mean, let's face it, they're going to be a 4 to 5 win team, maybe at best in 2023. Just, I think coming in a little cleaner and clearer and more direct and don't spin the wheel so much would be a better choice of tact for Jonathan Gannon and his coaching staff. But like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but you can't play this game forever until we get that we see it. And we're going to be able to report what we see and what we know, and talking to the players are eventually going to find out who they are and where they're playing. Mm-hmm. To me, it's I don't know what this is. It's summer camp, and it's not mini camp.
All right, so if this is as Manuch would say, a shell game, when regular training camp,
completely.
Yes, if training camp opens up, and then this is still going on a couple of weeks through training camp, do you start to really be concerned, and then do you take away the benefit of the doubt?
I don't know. That's a great question, Jim. I mean, what would you do? I mean, you've been around this sport. I've been around it since 1988 when they moved here, but even further still before that. And I'll tell you what, I just never seen a coach do it this way, say it this way, and continue to do it through all-season workouts. And look, maybe it'll even out. I think having covered Major League Baseball for a long time has taught me, and even minor league baseball. And I wish Rock were here because he would tell me something silly about covering the Firebirds with him. Everything averages out at the end. Yeah. And I think that's a good way to put it with the Cardinals and John Gannon and what he's trying to do and how he's trying to build it and the deception he's trying to use. It's all going to show itself. Not even, at the end of the season, but at the beginning of the season and training camp. I'm still going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but if it starts to get a little goofy, I think I'm not the only one that's going to call it out. I think the whole national media that covers the NFL will call it out if, in fact, it continues. I don't want to see Paris Johnson play 5 positions on the offensive line. I want him to be a master of one.
Sure.
I want to see Isaiah Simmons be a master of one. If you're going to decide after 4 years that he's now a defensive back completely, well then, okay, it's too late for him. He's going to sign somewhere else if he has a great year, and they're not going to bring him back. And Zayman Collins is going to be in the same boat a year from now if they're not careful. I think you've got great talents, and you better put them where they shine and don't mess with the prospect. But look, like I said, benefit of the doubt. We'll see what's going to go on. I want to be optimistic,
sure,
even though 2023 is going to be a nightmare. We'll all find out, but they better do something to make the fans stick around because
3 minutes.
How many are going to stay on board here? From what I'm seeing, they better come up with a good marketing plan. That's what I've been telling people.
That's my whole contention right there, Bob, is the fans watching experimentation in the lab trying to figure it out. They want it figured out from day one, which means my question of figuring out is Zach Ertz, has it been figured out when he's going to be back from that knee injury? Will he be available game one in reference to nobody's talked much about his availability?
And I talked to Zach early in the off season, and they made him available. We all talked to him, and the reports have been good. He's been on board and in total rehab mode. He is light years ahead of Kyler, and Kyler's making good progress, by the way. But I think we'll see Zach Ertz competing in training camp.
2 minutes.
Maybe not every single day, but I think he'll be ready week 1 for sure, in my opinion.
The other thing, too, is you wrote about Rondale Moore. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully we can see this high draft pick come to fruition going into year number 3. I mean, that's the big hope there. I think Dortch, the rookie Michael Wilson, will be fine. But, again, if you have another young man that's a home run hitter that's hitting nothing but singles or can't get on the field, and Rondale Moore, how big of a year is this for this young man going into his 3rd year?
Well, I think it's a bigger year for Hollywood Brown because he's under more scrutiny than anybody. He's replacing D-Hop, and that's not an easy job. And I don't know if Hollywood Brown has proven yet that he's a number 1 wide receiver. I know he'll tell everybody he is. I want to see the results. And
1 minute.
Been there, and they have not been there. And you get judged on what you do, not by how fast you run or could have been if I would have played this or done that. It's what you put on the field on the tape, and you got to do it consistently. And you got if you want to be considered a great receiver in this league, you got to be up there in the top 10. And I don't think either one of those guys are ready to be in the top 10. Not with the quarterback situation the way it is. So you got to take that into account. If Colt McCoy's throwing the ball versus Kyler Murray, a healthy Kyler Murray, I don't know if Hollywood Brown or Greg Dortch or Rondale Moore is really going to be able to prove who they really are. Is that saying that it's Colt McCoy's fault? No, it's not, but there's a difference here. And I think you got to take that into account, and you got to lower the bar a little bit and build. And while you're rebuilding, there's nothing wrong with that. But let's not expect huge numbers from anybody. I love Michael Wilson. I think he's going to be a very, very good player. more than serviceable, and maybe something special. Same with Rondale, but he's got to stay healthy. These tweaks and hamstrings and groins and fingers and feet and all these guys, stay on the field, be healthy, be productive, but it depends on who's throwing you the ball too, doesn't it?
Always. Yes, that's always a big part of it. Bobby is always great.
I'm hopeful,
yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah, I hear you, pal. Always great stuff from you. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Yeah, well.
There you go. Bob.
All right.
All right, bud. There you go. Bob McManaman, Arizona Cardinals beat writer. You can find all of his articles in Arizona Republic and AZ Central Sports and on Twitter at AZ Bobby Mack.